Hello everybody, my name is Dizzy and welcome back to Assassin's Creed, where last time we, let me get this up on your screen for you all. Hello? OBS? There we go. Where last time we left off having done quite a lot of developing of the local economy. And you're about to see the sort of the fruits that has paid off. But first, I want to extra special show off that I finally got Xbox 360 controls working, which is great. So if I load into the villa, or possibly punch some people as Mr. Myers. If I load into the villa, you see I have an obscene amount of money, which is quite nice. And the reason for this is because I went to Florence on the map, and I looted every single chest that I could find in Florence. Every single one. And obviously, while that was happening, we also had our fully developed town of Monteregione.
Di grazia, no need for that, signore.
Alright, calm down. Yeah, I had my fully developed city, pumping out money as well, and it was just a wonderful sort of combination of things. So Xbox 360 controls mean I can do some things that are new, like this. I can tilt my analog stick just a little bit and actually move slowly. Oop. I've got all my buttons working. The one thing that is surprising and different is I'm now on... So I can do this, which I couldn't do before, and actually pick that from the menu with this stick, which is nice. But that menu is attached to clicking my right stick now, which means I occasionally bring it up in moments of panic. So you'll be sure to see that happen. But I also noticed that there's this barcode right here that I don't think I've got. Why is Eagle Vision not working for me? Oh, it's because my whole controller's decided to stop working. Why is that? Hello? Hello? I was actually just showing off how my controller was working now, and it was all lovely and great. And now it stopped working. Forgive me. Yeah, the way I'm doing it is I'm using a controller emulator called Better Joy for Semu. Okay. My controller's having real panic. That's not great news. That's nothing to do with Better Joy for Semu. That's my controller being a buggy piece of junk with a cable that doesn't really work. Huh. Okay, we're back, I think. Boom is in the chat. Welcome. Ezio appears to be doing a big stretch. I didn't even pay much attention to like how I paused. How do I get you to deal with this? There we go.
3 thefts, hidden by the murders.
Right.
People only see what they're trained to see. What the organization wants them to see.
Sure. Can I get rid of this cursor? Vince says, what's it got in here? Saying, but the Poke Colony got raided. Ah, yes, of course, you're doing your Pokemon Rim World. They made it look like an accident. I assume? What are we looking for here? Give us a clue. Oh, that. So yeah, the guy who leaves the barcodes around is Subject 16. He was in the analyst before us. He's a total like conspiracy nutjob, who thinks that absolutely everything is a massive conspiracy, relating to like 800 different pieces of Eden. That apparently every even moderately notable figure in history had a piece of Eden, right? According to this guy. What? Enter password. Which button is that? Okay. Right. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, I've aligned the wheel. So now what do I do? Is there a correct alignment for the wheel? Oh, 6 equals 1, look, it says down there. So 6 equals 1, there we go. Ergo, 8 equals 3. 6 equals 1. And 7 equals 2. Access granted. Hooray! Operation New Frontier. HQ is given the go-ahead to extract the resource. Negotiations are over. F is planning to give the vote to everyone. I'll send you the driver. We've trained him with PE2 in our labs. He shouldn't be any trouble. The motorcade route is marked below. Once the target has been downed, either by Oswald or Zed, use PE1 to stage distraction. Make some kind of phantom appear around the slope I want to the next. 3 people out. The driver will grab PE3 in the confusion. I assume this is JFK assassination stuff? I'm not super duper familiar with JFK's assassination, but like someone being assassinated in a car by a guy called Oswald. I feel like Oswald is probably the JFK assassin's name. Sure, why not? Alright. And what is that giving us? We can play all. Two people running, doing a thing. Just lots of people running, really. Lots of shots of 2 people running. Alright. The other thing I grabbed off stream, kind of by accident really, while I was running around Monteriggioni, was... oh, how am I going to go down here, huh? Can I go down this? I can. There we go. Was, I picked up a few statues. So we can pop some of them in place. Oh! They open up! Well, that's handy. That's money inside. I probably don't really need that, but it's nice to have. Oh, we got those 2 as well. Yummy scrammy. This was very much just collectible hunting. You didn't necessarily miss very much by me doing that. It was just a lot of running around grabbing chests. I don't know how many statues I found, because I wasn't really trying for the statues. They just sort of happened. I guess that's probably all of them. The other thing which I didn't find, if we go through here, is you'll see there's some treasure on the map, and it's not on this level. It's actually on a level with like the street, I think. But I don't know how to get to it because there's no obvious sort of door or anything. I'm wondering if it's in through this fountain somehow, but there's nothing special about it. It says it'll be in the mine somewhere, probably. I had a look at the mine, because we went to the mine last time. I did go and have a look, and I don't think it's in the mine, but we can go back and have another look. Run, let's see. Oh, while I'm here, I actually want to show you the chest and possibly deposit any feathers. Because once we finish this kind of like little introduction clean up what has Dizzy been doing section, I do want to go off and oh, I tell you what else I discovered that's dead handy. I can collect income just from the chest. I don't have to speak to her, which is quite nice. But I do want to go and give my mom any feathers that I may have collected. I'm not sure if I did find any feathers. We'll find out. Do-do-do. Yes, I found some feathers. How many feathers are we at now then? Oh yeah, feathers also increase our value slightly. I'm not quite sure how. 26 feathers. Wonderful. Do-do-do. Bop. I'm also not sure if we ever placed that last seal that we got. So maybe let's go and do that. Do-do-do. Not you. Place seal, there we go. Chunk chunk. Do we have any others? Ah, yeah, we got this one as well. Gosh, we're doing well. We're halfway there. Blink. Oh, I'm pretty sure that should be all of them. Yes. So we are very close. And yeah, the chest isn't down here, but it's kind of on this level, and at the front of the house. And that's just a very odd spot. I don't really know where that is. Where am I supposed to be going? Not this way. I'm hoping I can get down to the mine safely from here. Maybe. Oh. Yep, that works. We'll take it. Now, so here are the mines. And yeah, we had like a little parkour puzzle in here that took us a while to work out last time because I couldn't figure out how to jump while hanging. But yeah, those are the chests that we've already found. And... oh, not that button. Not that button either. Which button am I looking for? I'm looking for a first person button. I might not have a first person button bound. But yeah, so this is as far as we can sort of get over here. There's nothing down underneath us that I can detect. So I really don't know. I don't know how to get those other chests. I have no idea where they might be. Because we finished developing the city now. I can only assume that something will unlock through the story. It'll turn out that our uncle has a second secret basement. But anyway, we are off to... I actually don't know where we're off to. Where are we off to? We're off to Tuscany. Oh yes, we were busy sort of taking out a whole bunch of conspirators kind of at once, I remember. Is there a horse around here? There is a horse around here. Amazing. Hey horsey. Oh, I just jumped at him. That's fine.
Hey, hey!
Alright, let's see. You don't need to shout. Oh. Yeah, we can just kind of clippity clop before the through the nice Monteriggioni. Is it morning? I think it's morning. This is what happens when you eat all of your optional collectible desserts before your main story meal. I've never heard it put like that, but you know, that is me to a T, actually, playing games. Do all the optionals and then the story. Critical state. Oh, I guess that's a thing for when I'm, like, low on health. Alright, so where are we actually going here? Oh yeah, so last time we were hanging around in Tuscany, and we really scuffed the stealth mission over there, and we really scuffed the stealth mission over there, and it was all just a bit of a sort of a shambles, to be honest. It looks like we have a whole bunch of side quests to do in the city itself. That my poor horse.
Soldato, if you fall on your sword, this terrible nightmare will end. Please, don't kill me.
Don't hurt me, please.
It's fine, we'll just go this way where there are no people, and then we won't bump into people. And yes, I did punch that guy, and I punched that guy because I thought that he was gonna have a go at us. And it turned out he wasn't gonna have a go at us. So, city acquired. What side quests do we want to do first? We've got a few. I've been doing a lot of these, like, secondary assassination contracts. Let's go do something else. Let's do a beat-up event. Really? There's literally 3 of you? Okay. Is it you? Hello?
A delicate matter, but important to me. Could you persuade the idiot I married to come home to me and stay home? I implore you.
Spear of Infidelity. Beat up the double-crossing husband. Sure. Wonderful. There's money in there. There is money in there. Well, I mean... yeah, when they put it like that, I can't really say no, can I? Oh, okay, really?
They say that new contraption from Padua does wonders to a man's balls, yes?
Ow! Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button, that's why. That's why I didn't counter.
Cut him off!
Okay, I cut him off. Oh, I hit that guy. There we go. Okay, well, I tried to be sneaky and I failed again. Oh, the other thing we can do is we can go to the shop and see what weapons we have. So we have the Florentine Falchion, is +1 to everything. Or this is +2 to speed. I think I want the Falchion. Technically this is cheaper if I get it back home, because I have a small discount, but I don't want to be bothered going back home. Coin seems genuine. Thanks. Oh, I don't know why my value went up, but I guess it did. Just gonna stab that guy and find someone who is supposed to be up. Interesting. Ow. Uh-oh. Don't mind me, I didn't do anything. Oh, for some reason I thought there was a ladder there. I must just be dense. Cheating boyfriend? Where is he? There's a feather over there. I guess we can go and get that. Oh, is it you? Oh, it is you! Okay, I'm gonna grab the feather first. Yep, no, you don't see me anywhere. I assume if I stab him, that's a mission fail. Actually, if I can sneak up behind him, I might get the first blow. He looks like he's fairly tough. He's got armor and stuff. So, I think sneaking up on him would be better.
There! Traitor! A few falls of the strappado will loosen your
Bonk,
tongue.
bonk, bump, bump. Ow. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. Did I do the mission?
You win!
Yep.
And I'll be a good, faithful husband!
My God, you're wearing like full armor. You got beat up by someone's fists. Oh dear. Okay, well, that was a nice little side quest, I guess. Courier assignment. Oh, these are go fast missions. I'm very bad at go fast missions, but we'll give them a go. Here's my gang. I'm just gonna grab this poster while we're here. Yoink. Where's the way up? Oh, hello. Excuse me. Over here somewhere? Oh, look, that guy. I see the killer.
Please, get this delivered on time and I'll repay you handsomely.
Sure. Speedy delivery. Quickly deliver 3 letters. Oh, that's going to be rough, but okay. I shouldn't have started with this one. This one's in the opposite direction to the other 2, but never mind. Haha. Okey-doke. Don't really know where we're going. Oh, I've got the letters in my database. That is also not the button I wanted. Politics, always politics. You swear you're too busy at court to visit your son. That's a lie. You don't want to be seen with him. How many heirs has your supposed wife produced? Wow. Blah blah blah. Upper class wife who comes your money. Oh dear. Wow. Okay. So it's basically a lady shouting at her baby daddy for being a bad baby daddy. Where the hell is this person we are going to? I've definitely done these in the wrong order, haven't I? No, I kind of want the map, please. Thank you. Oh! They're a bajillion miles away! Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're getting a horse then. Hang on, I should actually add the stables to my... as a waypoint then. Do-do-do. Oh, look at all these places with money in them that I'm just running past. Okay, 2 minutes through this is going to be a little tight. It's going to be a little tight. Horse, 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 horse. Yeah. Yeah? Okay, no here. How fast can I horse around the map? Oh, why won't the camera not stay put? Where are we going? Somewhere in here. Hello, where are you? There you are. Ah, where am I? I got lost in the cutscene. Horse. Oh, I know! I know! I'm halfway through! Ah! Which one do I need to be going for first? Oh, it would help if the map would behave. I need to be going for this one first, okay. Do-do-do. Gonna ride. If I'd been sensible, I would have done this in the other order, but I wasn't sensible. So we might fail. Do-do. Clop, clop, clop. 40 seconds is not a lot. We are nearly at this one, but we're gonna have like 30 seconds to do the last one. Yeah. Let me back on my horse. 20 seconds. Getting stuck on trees doesn't help. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. Ah! Oh no. Disaster. Disaster has struck. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh my god, I think we got that. With 4 seconds to go! Jeebus. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna do a main mission. Then I might do some more of these contracts, maybe. We'll see. The Florence contracts we sort of did up until I hit a wall that I found one that I just couldn't do. Because I think I need to upgrade my poison capacity, ideally. I don't know if that's a thing that you can do, but I think that's what I want to do, to try and do it. My other main method of doing it will be to, wait for my brain to catch up. Yeah, to just see if there's an apothecary nearby who I can just restock my poison halfway through. Excuse me. Right.
Ezio, about time you got here. We found Bernardo Baroncelli.
Cool. I don't remember who that is.
Tell me where he is and I'll see that he's dealt with.
That's the trouble. Lorenzo actually had him arrested days ago, after being returned to us from Constantinople. But he escaped. We believe him to be somewhere inside San Gimignano.
Va bene.
Sure.
I'll see if I can't pin him down.
Do I have to look across
How do you
the whole
expect to
city?
succeed when the rest of us have failed?
Eagle
I
vision.
have my ways.
Locate and assassinate him. Okay. That shouldn't be too difficult. Right? Oh, I didn't really want to jump through that. I wanted to climb up it, but I guess that's not how those market stores work. Do-do. This city is only like 100 foot across. Yep! And they managed to lose someone in it. I mean, I suppose to be fair to them, out of character, I'm terrible with faces. So, like, I would definitely lose someone in a city 100 foot across. Right. Any eyes on? No. I wonder if he's going to be where that archer is patrolling. Whoop!
Just need to take things one day at a time. You'll get bored, lost, confused, distracted. Killed. It will be okay. And if it does come, if it happens, I keep moving. Never in one place for long. Only how to sleep.
Is he that guy?
Where to sleep?
Oh, there he is,
The
okay.
guard tower, perhaps. They'll think me mad. They don't know. I'll pay them, yes. Then what will it matter? All they care about is coin. All anyone cares about is coin. Good for the brotherhood, good for me. Safer this way, yes. Yes, I'll ask, and then...
Got him! I did a stealth one for once! I actually did it stealthily!
Come.
Where is Jakob?
That never
So
happens!
you can do to him what you've done to me?
There is still time for you to clear your conscience.
Clear his
Gather at the
conscience.
church when a meeting is called.
Mi duole dover giungere a tanto. Requiescat in pace.
I find it interesting, Ezio's kind of mellowing in his response to everyone. As, Uh-oh.
Something to do with this, perhaps? I were a criminal stronzo. I'd
Wow.
probably seek refuge here. You'll be a good little sheep now, right? Once more, and you toss your corpse to the fish.
Yep.
Capito?
They were mad at me for that guard dying. I did a stealth mission! Everyone clap. Okay. Where are we going next? Okay, let's do another contract. I can't remember if we had a look at this contract before.
What happened? Did you have... Do you want to see my scar?
Ooh, money. Hello. Excuse me. I don't need it. I've got 85,000 florins. I make like 32,000 every 20 minutes or something. don't need the money. But I see it and I'm just like shiny. Right, what are we doing? Flea Market. They're located in the marketplace next to Santa Maria Assunta. Sure. Locate the 2 conspirators. Okay, and there's this. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be here. I'm going, okay? Oh my god, that was a fountain of blood and a half? Jesus. Doke. That guy to not be looking. Yoink. Got him. Could have been so. What am I holding on to? It's fine. I guess we'll grab this poster, seeing as I seem to accidentally be building up notoriety by stabbing guards. You know, as one does. Not up here. Okay, there's more archers. Yep, I'm trying. Got one. Where's the other guy? There he is. Right, I assume they're in here somewhere. Yeah, it's those 2. Unfortunately, I've just literally moved them away from where they were nicely right next to each other. Oh, I think I got them both. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hello, there's quite a lot of you guys. We'll just do a little run. Up-a-doo. Plop! I didn't even know that was there, but you know what? It works. I can't look up to see where they're looking at me from. But I assume they're slowly losing interest. Okay, so far so good, I think. Things are going well. We'll go do another main mission, I guess. As soon as these guys have stopped looking for me, which seems to be taking a while. Hey gang, there we go. Oh, hello. Hi guys. Right. I've killed everyone else. Now who have you got for me?
Salute, Ezio.
Hi.
Antonio Maffei has sought refuge atop the city's tallest structure, spouting scripture and arrows in equal measure. The man has clearly lost his mind.
Oh, good.
Making matters worse, he's posted archers all around him. You do well to clear them out before approaching.
Noted.
Grazie for the information.
I do love a good Assassin's Creed enemy who just starts randomly firing arrows. On top of tower in San Gimignano. Right, which tower? Okay, he's over there. Oh, I guess it's that one. Oh, and look, there's like walkways between the towers. I see. Well, this seems like an obvious place to start, doesn't it? Climb up here, stab this guy. Hang on, he's walking away from me. Oh, he's still walking away from me. Right, okay. One. Oh, look at the mini-map! Oh my god, that is a lot of archers, Jesus. Right. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, someone's seeing me! Oh, there's nothing to grab. Ow. Oh dear. That went badly. That went really badly. Oh dear. I thought I could grab onto a bit of tower, but I could in fact not. Ooh. This is a bit of a long death scene. Hello? Game? Okay. Right, let's try this one again. I love that just the trio of musicians who are like coming to ambush me in force. Okay. So we need to be a little more aware of which archer is it who spots me? I guess it's that guy over there, right? Yeah. What's your... Oh, there's two of them up there. I wonder if I can be clever. Oh, he saw me? How do I get down from here? Okay, hang on. Whoop! Oh, look. Alright, okay. We got temporarily spotted. I think it's fine. I would like to... Oh god, there's three of them! There's three of them! Oh, I can't assassinate him like that. Hi! Yeah, I didn't realize there were three. Oh. Well, that worked. I am the best assassin. Okay. Right. I need to find a way up a bit more. Okay. Up here? There we go. Up there. Right, now we can get the guy or guys on top of here. Looks like just one. But then the last one looked like just two. It is in fact two, okay. What's your route? Is that guy? No, okay. Might want to grab this guy first. Ow. Yoink! I think he just went ow. Yeah, I'm worried about that lot up there. So I don't want to really be around that side of the tower if I can help it. Yoink! Okay. So... now what is my route from here? I suppose it's... down onto that, right? How do I climb onto that? Hang on. Do some dangerous letting go. No? Maybe? Yes. Okay. Right. There's 2 up here and then 2 down there. You stand in the middle and spin all around. You're not quite in reach to be stabbed from here, which is unfortunate. You are from there, though. Oh, damn it. He just about saw me. Ow! Oh god, okay. Okay, apparently he can hit me from there. Which I didn't know. There's also those 2 around there. Ahem. Uh-oh. 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 How do I get around to that side? Oh my god, with great difficulty. I think it's probably best to go up here and then down. Oh! What? There's 2 of you up here again! What? Right, okay. Wait for that guy to turn and then turn back, and then I will be hidden. Right. Wait for the same again. Turn back. Stab him in the back. God, the wrist blade is very long. It goes right through both of them. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, apparently you saw me there. I'm not allowed up here, am I? Okay. You're released. I'm a bit worried that that guy respawned. Because I'm slightly worried it could mean that anyone else might respawn. Can we... Thank you, Ezio. Which would sort of raise the point of what am I doing this all for? I suppose I don't really need those guys, right? Like, I've cleared my way to the tower. I just need to get down to that one. Preferably without dying. Okay. Whoop, okay. Right. I assume those guys are too low to see me, but maybe they're not. Can I not? There we go. Up here. Oh, Ezio, I didn't really want you to do that. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. That all worked out fine. Really? I can't reach you to assassinate you from down here? Really? Okay, you've got a body there. Yeah. Oh. He's up there. Okay. Gonna nab him. And then we should be able to get a stealth kill off on this guy when he comes over here, right? Or he'll do that. Okay. Fine. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There we go. Okay. We slightly scuffed it at the end because we tried to drop assassinate him while he was on the ladder.
Respect for death, my friend.
I'll show you respect.
No, I will. Tu possa al fine trovare riposo. Nel corpo e nella mente. Requiescat in pace.
Amazing. We did it! Oh, we got a letter from him. Hello. From Jacopo de Pezzi.
As you've no doubt heard by now, he hunts us in search of retribution. We should never have consented, never have conspired. But what's done is done. And so, I have called a meeting with Maestro 3 nights from now to ask for sanctuary, either in Venezia or with him or in Roma. We will assemble at the church in San Gimignano and travel to the meeting location at the appointed hour. I urge you to attend. Remaining here would be suicide. The assassin is relentless. We cannot hope to stop him on our own.
Yep, that's me, relentless.
Perhaps, aided by Maestro, we might buy ourselves the time to form a proper response. Guard yourself well. Firenze may be lost to us, but it does not have to mean our end. May the Father of Understanding guide you. Your brother, Jacopo.
Well, they're starting to have regrets of their own now, which is nice. Oh, I guess I've got another mission to do. No, I don't want that. Oh, wait, I did want that. What was that? Hang on. How am I supposed to know who was that from? That one, maybe?
Maestro.
Yeah, okay.
It's with fear in my heart that I write this letter. The Prophet has arrived. I feel it. The birds don't act as they should. They swirl around the location. I see them from my tower. I will not attend our meeting as asked. I can't expose myself like this, or the demon might find me. Forgive me, for I am only listening to my voice. May the Father of Understanding guide you. Guide me, Brother A.
Okay, I think that was the guy we already killed. I think. Okay, so main mission is down there, which is grand. I kind of want to go do another side quest. We're not far from either. The question is, how do I get to them? Oh, also, this is a... Well, one of the buildings around here is a... I guess it's probably this tower here? Nope. Oh, I can't easily... Okay, I guess it's that one. Has a logo on it somewhere that we need to find, I think. Getting between the different towers might be a wee bit of a challenge. Ow, okay, apparently we can... Apparently that does damage us. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't damage us. Oh look, there it is. Yeah, that. Excuse me. That's for calling me a Horus Gronsol, I think? Oh. It might be slightly difficult to get up there. Hang on a sec. Going up to this. Go round. There we go. Okie doke.
Something was up there. Something abandoned long ago.
Right. Apollo. You're claiming... Actually, to be fair, we know that they are, like, aliens or something. So it's actually not mad, the idea that there's a piece of Eden on the moon. Find the eagle. Hello? I guess it's this text? No, not this text. Okay, that's just text. The beeping isn't very helpful. Am I close? Am I allowed to check off the moon? Oh? Okay, beeping's getting faster now. Oh, am I allowed to check off the moon? Oh, I see what you mean! Oh! Yeah, no, I would never have thought to look there if you hadn't said that. I'm like, where the hell on the surface of the moon is this? It's not. Okay. With these formidable weapons, the adversaries of freedom plan to consolidate their territory, to exploit, to control, and finally to destroy. JFK. Oh, okay, we have up, down, left, right. Do I need to line these up with that? Sure. Oh, but they're attached together in an unfortunate way. I see. Okay. So, well, let's just do what we can. And now... hang on. Right. I need to find the long one on this outer rung, put it there, and then do that one. Find the long one on that, put it there, and then I think I can do the middle one on its own. Hooray! We did it! Okay, now what? Alright, we landed on the moon. Apollo 11 photograph released to public with an X-ray scanner. Abstergo Industries underneath the American flag, of course. Oh. Templar crosses on that flag. Oh, we were close. Ah.
Jack deep underground. It was easy.
Passcode found. Is that more running? It is. It's more running to the exact same place. Okay. I assume the animation will look better once we've found the other, like, half of it. Yeah, I wanted to go do side quest again. Find some more side people to assassinate. Money. Oh my god, I did not think I'd be able to manage that. Oh look, there's a body here. Whoops. Don't mind him. His death, would you believe, is actually completely unrelated to the theft. Don't tell me where I shouldn't be. I'm checking my pigeon loft. Oh wait, you're not guards. Why even have pigeon lofts if people aren't allowed to look at them? Right, what's on your mission? Vertical slice. Board your soldiers in Gimignano. They may be attempting a coup. Kill them all. Make sure you aren't seen. I don't want Rodrigo to use your involvement as an excuse to go to war. Kill 5 soldiers without being detected. Are they all together? Ish. Ish is okay. Oh, I tell you what, my notoriety is a bit high right now.
What skill?
Which I hadn't noticed. Yes, I am now perfectly blending in among these thieves. Good job, me. Yeah, I'd sort of like to come down to street level and go find some posters, ideally, to tear down. Because I don't want people spotting me on sight. However, posters themselves are quite tricky to find. Oh, not that one. Where the hell is this poster? Am I... Oh, it's up there. Like, am I blind? Yes, yes I am blind. There's also a guy down here to stab. Oh no, Ezio. Oh, Ezio, please. Oh, Ezio. Ow, okay. Haha! Well, we lost a lot of health doing that. But it should be fine. I don't know if these soldiers... There's one right here, apparently, in front of me. He's not on the same level as me, so I guess he's on this roof?
That's certainly adventurous.
Nope, nope, okay, fine, let's go. We'll do it your way. Where is he? Is he that guy? Probably. Right, I know he wanders along here. I've got an assassinate button. Who does it think I can assassinate from up here? Right, that's a target. Okay. Now there's someone over here. There seems to be someone above me and possibly someone below me. Whoa! Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm not even here. Ah! Who detected me? Oh! Hello! You are hiding well. Ow! I just got stabbed! Oh, that's annoying. Oh, I also got a wasp on me. That's lovely. Oh, are you kidding me? My notoriety doesn't reset? No, thank you, wasp. No, thank you, wasp. One sec, guys. Alright, apologies for that. Sorry. Wasp was very interested in my face. My face was not very interested in the wasp. Where am I going? Somewhere over here. Probably not by rooftops if we can help it. Because they're an excellent way to get detected. Somewhere over here. Around here-ish. Okay. Right, that's the guy who just detected me before. He's now gone. I know there's another one over there. Oh, sods, you can see me there. Okay. Ow, that hurt. Where is he? Where did he go? Where did he go? Oh, he's over there. Okay, that's fine. Probably. Never mind, it's not fine. What to do? Just gotta do a little hide down here. Alright, I think he's not looking anymore. Yeah, okay. I think he's gonna come over here and stand here and then be stabbed more. I think. Right. Okay. 2 down. We're already doing better than last time. How the hell do I get around this? I have to start from the other building, possibly. Jump across? That really didn't work, Jesus. Okay. Up he's here, over to that. Around here. Oh, there's our target. Up here. Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, where does he stand? Oh, got him. Okay. 3 down, 2 to go. Okay, you're down there. And then... where's the other one? Oh, you walk right past that. Amazing! Wonderful. I guess the last one must be down there somewhere. But I can't really see him, and I'm a bit worried. There he is. Where's he going? Oh look, my notoriety is very high right now as well. Got him! Right. Okay. Side quest done, eventually. It was very sneaky, and I apologize for I was a little quiet. Gonna see if I can go via that. Actually, I might also grab this healer. Hello. Yes, lots of things ail me right now. Specifically, my lack of health ails me. Thank you. Did you? shortcut. Oh, not a shortcut there. There we go. Right, we now have 21,000 in our chest back home waiting for us, in case we need it. I think this one I've already torn down once. Oh, why do they keep putting posters up here? Yoink. Ow! Oh god! Ow! Ow. Well, that heal was definitely worth it, wasn't it? Slash sarcasm. Oh god. What do you mean the capo will be pleased? I'm not pleased! Never mind your capo. You won't be pleased when I do that! Get wrecked! Okay, there's a poster over here somewhere. There it is, we'll grab that on the way. Right, and now we're back where we just were. Ish. Oh, Ezio! Oh, it's... Oh, Ezio. You! Yeah, I've never seen a more injured man. Hang on. Hi. I know I literally just healed at your friend, but I need to heal again.
You look stronger already.
Thanks. Oh, there's an artist here, right? I can probably get a map for all of this. I actually can't find the artist. Artist? Is he on the other side? Yes, there he is. Hi. I'd like your astonishing collection, please. Thank you.
Don't forget to send your friends.
I won't send my friends. Why would I send my friends to buy a map when they can just copy my copy of the map? Oh, for God's sake. Uh-oh. Oh! I like that when they're climbing you can sort of get them in an instant kill. Which I don't think is supposed to be part of the game. But it's very convenient for me. Right, with friends like these. Tail, Jacopo de Pazzi to the Templar meeting. Okay. I have to locate him.
If I can stay my blade long enough to follow him, he'll lead me to his Templar brothers. I'll have more names for my list.
Right. Unfortunately, you're going a really inconvenient way. Yeah, I know that I can't see him right now. Oh god. Uh-oh. This is bad. Ugh, ugh. Okay, that was nearly a disaster. But we got sight of him again. Where is he going? Oh. Okie doke.
What's going on here? Are they late? They haven't seen me, this much I know.
Okay. Now where? Down here? Okay. Sure. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm trying to get down, mate. Oh, operation. Oh, Ezio. Oh, Ezio, that's not good. That's real bad. Oh, I like climbing on the shield, that's fun. He's getting away! Where is he? He's down there. Okay.
What are you and the others planning, Jacopo?
Oh, a feather. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that further though somehow. I mean, didn't he say that he was planning to leave? There's a guard down there. Down, please. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he can see me from here. He can see me from here. Do-do-do. This is fine. Oh my god, Ezio, why can you not just stab them? Jesus. Uh-oh. Well, that'll... If he didn't know I was following him when he saw me dangling from a rooftop, he definitely knows I'm following him now, doesn't he? Alright, where do we think he's going next? Is he leaving the city? There's 4 guards there. It looks to me like he's leaving the city. He is leaving the city. Luckily, someone put this big old ladder here. I don't know what the safe way down is. The safe way down is over here. Okay, up there. Now where is he going?
Your letter mentioned Venezia. Are there Templars there as well?
I don't think this is the way to Venezia. Is he luring me into a trap? It's not a very good trap if he is. I wonder if I'm supposed to be following him from the walls at this stage. The answer is quite possibly yes. So it's going to cost us a little bit of time. But we'll look, yeah. Look, this is much better than what I was doing. Just wandering around. Look at all those guards! In pairs. I wonder if I'm supposed to jump into that from here. Is he going to go across the bridge? Looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, he's going down to that thing. Up. They are having a great deal of difficulty in actually following him, aren't they? I don't know if these guys will spot me on sight. They will. Okay, good. Good. As long as we know. Right, now we're in a restricted area.
How many men are responsible for my father's death?
All of them. All men. Eavesdrop on the meeting without being detected. Okay. That might be a little more difficult. I'd anticipated. Oh, okay, this counts, apparently.
I'm sorry, Maestro. I did all I could, but the assassin proved too strong.
Clearly. As the others would be here with you. To say
Oh, it's that guy. I remember that guy.
In Medici hands.
It's Francesco's fault. His impatience made him reckless. I tried to be the voice of reason.
More like the voice of cowardice.
You want to talk, Signor Barbarigo? Had you sent us quality weapons instead of this garbage you Venetians call armament?
Yeah, I'm sure it's the quality of the weapons that matters.
Chaos with inaction and incompetence? Then when asked to account for your failures, You make excuses and insult us? How do you expect me to respond?
I don't know.
It's all right. I do.
He's gonna get stabbed. Yep, there we go. Absolutely no one is surprised.
Please. Don't.
Please don't what?
What a line! Hahaha, please don't what?
I can fix this. Only spare
My
me.
guy, he's already stabbed you!
No.
Oh, jeez.
What a mess.
I
So
will.
sorry to have claimed your prize, assassin.
Oh, hello. I am the least
Did you
sneaky.
honestly think I wouldn't expect you to follow? That I didn't plan for it? We've been at this a lot longer than you. Kill him.
I know you're only doing as you're told. So if you release me, I will spare your lives.
Listen to this.
Well, I did say. Oh, Jacopo de Pazzi? Which one's Jacopo de Pazzi? I can't see him. Oh, he's here. Okay. This guy got stabbed in the chest and in the neck, and it still took me to actually finish him off? That's Italian for get wrecked, idiot. Ow! Oh, that's not fair. Finish him. Do I need to kill these guys or just get out? Oh, some of these are spear guys. Oh, that's the clam.
Your flame will be most amused should you survive this encounter. Do try, yes?
Well, this is going quite well, actually. Honestly. Oh, look, there's the spear guy, though. Ow. I can't really see what's going on. Ow. Ow, Ezio, 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 bad. Do-do-do. Oh, who's that guy? Not this time here! How?
There! After him! Hurry! Reminds me of drunken deficienti dancing the Santarello.
Ow, uh-oh. Right. Spear guy. Ow. Ow.
You'll be spit like a suckling pig and roasted in the piazza.
Right. Got him! Amazing. That went really well, actually. Memory synced. Sequence 5 complete. Oh, we're doing well. Oh, Tuscany is, evaporating. That's fine. It's supposed to do that. Italy does that regularly. Armor broken. Visit a blacksmith. Oh, okay, so I can do that. Oh, it looks like we're back in Florence. Hello, Florence. Republica Fiorentina, 1480. I think that's the next year? I don't think we're jumping lots of years at a time. Although it is taking Ezio a while to kill all these guys. You know, like, Assassin's Creed 1, all the murders happened like one after another straight away. Oh, I'm not at the bridge this time. Alright, what do you want me to do in Florence then? Oh, I gotta remember, which one's, I think it's, which one's the bridge that had the guys on it? Is it that one? Because if so, there's a doctor right there next to him. Might be able to do that. That just sneaky resupply on poison halfway through a mission. I guess we're going up here. Oh, it's you. Hello. Excuse me a sec. Oh, I can't steal from you. Interesting. Hi there.
The Pazzi are dead. Every one of them.
Yep.
I must admit, I've never before believed I could desire the death of others so badly.
Nor I.
Ezio, thank you for the role you've played in keeping this dream of mine alive a little longer.
L'onore è mio, signore.
What will you do now, figliolo?
There are still others I must hunt, signore. They're already digging their claws into the heart of Venezia.
No. La bella Venezia. Then that is where your journey must take you, Ezio. Before you leave us,
excellent.
I have something for you.
A
gift.
Thanks.
This cape identifies you as a friend of the Medici. As long as you wear it, the city guards will be more tolerant of your actions. But be warned, it will not grant you immunity from the law.
So what does that mean? Does that mean I'm like allowed to steal with impunity like I am in Montegioni? You've acquired the Medici cape. Oh, look at that! Swish. Makes me permanently anonymous to Medici guards. Okay, so what does that mean in practice? Yeah! Notoriety will not increase in Tuscany. In Florence. Or Tuscany. Oh, sweet! I can just have all of the money from everyone. I mean, they will still fight me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I knew I should have been more careful.
Okay, so, well, that's wonderful. What have we got here? This blue thing. Objective. Not a mission, objective. Interesting. I guess we're in a mission, because I can't do the side quest right now. I'm just gonna have all of the money. Forever, even though I've already got all of the money forever. And I really didn't need ways to get additional money. Excuse me, guys. Oh, okay, apparently you don't want me to come in here. That's fine. We'll go around. Oh, ow, ow.
I'm just a simple man.
Ow. I bumped into that guy. That guy's got a whole dead sheep on his back. Jeesh. Where are we going? Somewhere up here?
Hey, what was that all about?
No, it's down. It's on floor level. Okay. Hello? Oh, it's Leo's house. Hello.
Leonardo.
Hello? Leonardo?
Mi dispiace, messer, but he is gone. Maestro Leonardo was commissioned by a Venetian noble to paint some portraits. He paid for the maestro to move his entire workshop to Venezia. It's quite an opportunity.
Actually, that's kind of good, because it means I won't have to wander back to Florence every time I want to see him. Okay, so, new objective. Find Venice, I guess. I do kind of want to... I want to give this one more go before I leave. I think our villa chest is now full, so we might also grab that on the way. Yeah, quite possibly. Where am I going? Over here somewhere. Hello? Ah, look, a pigeon lost. There we go. Yoink. Alright, we're gonna give this one go. And then I'll be off to Monteregione and then Venice. A contingent of traitorous guards is planning to march to my palace. Kill them all before they trigger a riot. Yes. Kill the 10 brutes within 60 seconds. Honestly, just killing the 10 brutes is a challenge enough. Through the streets. Which bridge is it in the end? Yeah, it is that one, okay. So there is a doctor not far away. Do I have 5 poison on me? Yes, I do. Amazing. A small outbreak of plague. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Right, so we've got the 5 patrolling guys. Come down here. And then the 5 stationary guys up there. And our plan, or my plan, is to stab 5 of them. And then go visit that apothecary. Who's over there somewhere. Actually, I should find out where the apothecary is first, shouldn't I? And what the quickest route to him is. Okay, there's the apothecary. We can't get back that way easily. We have to get back around here. But that should be fairly doable inside a minute. I think. Oh, last one! Give me the last one! No, I need the last one! Okay, I can buy more poison from a doctor. I'm planning to. Okay. Hey. Apothecary supplies. Poison. Oh, I hope my time is not ticking down. Oh, I can't see. Okay. There. Okay. Oh god! Oh, Ezio, why? Why did you have your punch equipped? Ah! Okay, that's definitely possible. It just turns out that, Ow. Okay. Can I abandon mission? No, actually, it's easier if I desync. It's quicker if I desync. Just have to wait for them to hit me a lot. Okay. Yeah, I didn't check that I had my punch equipped. Finish me off. Oh my god, you guys are so slow at killing me. There we go. Right, that nearly worked fine. That nearly worked fine, so we're gonna try again. Even though I said I was only gonna do it once. It turns out I lied. Oh, go away, you horrible gods. Ugh. Yeah, I still got my 5 poison. Let's actually equip that. Yeah, I don't know what the best way to go is. I don't think it's this way. Alright, okay, here we are. So, oh wait, oh, hang on. Oh, they're having a paddy with each other, that's fine. Guys, guys. Thank you. Right, wait for them to get back round. Go through them all doing poison. Apothecary. Remember to change back to the poison, because that's important. Ow. Can I stab you? Ow. Can I stab you, please? One left. Okay. Right, one of them is dead. Okay. Round up here. Speak to Apothecary. Poison.
That's it. Come back anytime.
And back around. One, 2, 3, 4.
Another dead couple.
5. Can I just mop you up now? Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, once they're poisoned, they can't, like, deal with me. Amazing! Help! She says, and then continues to stroll unconvinced. Oh, they hit this guy. Hi. You're right there, sir. And this guy. Well, seeing as they're down, you know, I might as well. I should actually see if these guys have good loot. You never know. They have throwing knives! Oh, that's good loot. Sorry guys, you're all getting looted. Actually, having said that, how many throwing knives have I got? I've got 3, because I've looted 3, I guess. Okay, amazing. And smoke bombs! Oh my god, you guys have the best loot! This guy is still rolling about, like he's not dead. My gun got poisoned and possibly regular stabbed, I'm not sure, but he's still... Oh, I wonder if he got, like, knocked out by his poisoned friend. And that gives him the knocked out animation instead of the dead animation, but he still counts. That's actually hilarious. Okay, I think I've looted them all now. What did I get from that? Oh, amazing. Amazing stuff. I would have liked to get a bit more poison, but... We'll go speak to the Apothecary again. Boink, doink. There's someone down there. Oh, weird, okay. Hi, I would like yet more poison. Do not question why I'm buying all of this poison. Fine.
Ah, yes, much better, friend. Jules.
Right. Oh yes, we're going to... Oh, we have another quest after this in that same chain? My god! Okay, fine. Fine. Yeah, look easy. There's not going to be a single room in this bit of Florence that you'll find unlooted. Although, again, it feels like there's sort of more over here that I'm supposed to see. But maybe not.
Please, be careful, Mr.
Where is this pigeon loft? No. Pigeons. Those look like pigeons. Never mind, those are not pigeons. Go up, because we gotta go up at some point. Pigeons? Where are you? There you are! Hey, pigeon. Oh god, I didn't realise there was a thing there. Right. Hey, Pidge! What you got for me? I can't believe this guy has more people for me to kill. Like, Jesus. Leader of the pack. Small group of condottieri who attacked my palace have been spotted. Seem to be regrouping. Tail one of them to their garrison, kill their leader. Sure. Where is he? Okay, he's not too far. He's like exactly where we just were. Guys probably gonna get mad at us for climbing on the roofs again. Up, yep. Okay, we can't up that one. We have to up this one. One of the big things that I think it gets fixed in like Black Flag, really, from what I've seen, is that free running across roofs isn't faster than just going by road. Which means it's something you only really actually sort of want to be doing. God, there's that big guy there. Something you only really want to be doing, like, if you need to be unseen. Like, the free running in this is pretty good, but I've seen Black Flag footage, and the free running is even smoother in Black Flag. Okay, where are you going, sir? Tail the guards. Alright. Can do. Oh, this is going to be an annoying building to jump. Maybe I won't have to. Alright, where are we going from here? Turn right. I really could have gone lower, I suppose, but that's okay. Up is generally good. Up is safer. Until there's a guard on the rooftop. Alright? There you are. Okay, he goes under here. There's a big old market square here you could go anywhere from. Looks like he's going that way. What do you do? Oh, that's not good. Important Pokemon update. Sent me out on a trade caravan. Oh, shut up, mate. One sec, I need to pause to read this. I can't parkour and read at the same time. Sent me out on a trade caravan. A quest just put saying there's a Moltres a day and a half out from your destination. Ooh, I do love a Moltres. I do love a legendary bird in general, to be honest. Because I'm old school. I tend to like the older legendaries more than the newer ones. Just as a general rule. I kind of liked the Scarlet Violet for like cursed artifact legendaries. I thought they were neat, and I liked that they were legendaries that weren't like amazing setting defining or immensely story relevant things. They were just sort of there. I feel like that's how I'd want like those side legendaries, like the birds or beasts or whatever. That's how I'd want them to be, is just like little side things that just add to the world a little bit. They were they were slightly weird in that they didn't feel like they fit the not Spain setting terribly well. Okay. Hang on. Hang on, sir. I'll be with you in a sec. Alright, there we go.
How does he do that?
I push buttons. Sometimes it's even the right buttons. This is a weird mood buff for most of us. You set Poke Polyamory to worship the Gen 1 birds. That, I must admit, that's a thing that, like, obviously it's fine in Rimworld or whatever, but like, as a thing in the fandom, the conflation of legendary status with, like, godhood gets me. When people are like, oh look, he's just like a silly little god that got caught in a ball. And it existed before Arceus was a thing. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, I'm stuck in the corner. Uh-oh. That wasn't supposed to happen that way. Yeah, it happened before Arceus, but Arceus was like the tipping point that I think a lot of people felt legitimized that idea. Ezio. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, he feels the pink pot motorbike. No, not those ones. The not the box legendaries. Oh my god, there's a lot of guys there. Not the box legendaries, but the other legendaries in Scarlet Violet. It's just because that's like capturing Odin, more like capturing Sleipnir his horse. Yes. Got him. Run! Run! How do I run? Ezio? Run! Well, there we go. Okay. We activated run. That's not really how I wanted to get up to this roof. But it'll do. 1. 2. Oh, I fell off. Oh, Ezio. Do-do-do. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Where are we going? Do-do-do. Oh, Ezio, that was nearly a total disaster. Okay, I think we lost them. Oh, get wrecked, mate! Haha! It says you have to run, command, run in order to run. You're on the run! Oh god, that's a sentence. Okay, we did it! We finished all of the stabby side quests in Florence! We're done forever! Hooray! That's amazing news. I want to stop by Monteriggioni, see if I can upgrade my weapons and armor and stuff. Grab me, Actually, is there a fast travel person closer than that? Only the paid one who's right at the gate anyway, never mind. Yeah, see if I can upgrade some stuff. Collect me money. Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting, up in the top right there. Interesting. I think my controller's having a panic, so we're just gonna... just gonna chill out for a bit. See if we can, Nope. Okay. Be prepared for lots of bubba-butting. I don't know why my controller sometimes does this. It just, connection it doesn't like, I guess. I think it's also one of those things with... Oh, for God's sake. One of those things with like USB-C ports in general is just you've got this quite small port that's very flimsy, because like the tongue on the inside is really just like this pathetically thin bit of plastic that's so cheaply and shoddily made that of course it doesn't work. And that's true even on quite expensive devices. Okay, there we go. Jeebus. Where are we going? This way. Ba-dee-doo. Come on, Ezio. I guess we're going down to street level. Oh, is this the place with the door with the feather on it, I wonder? I couldn't get before. No, it is not. Never mind.
Please move it before the evening procession of Santa Croce gets underway. There will be a fine if not.
I wonder what he's talking about, because normally he's talking about me. But obviously he can't be talking about me because I'm currently anonymous. Oh, which reminds me, I can just steal as much money as I want. And no one can do a thing about it. Lol, get wrecked, guys. Get wrecked. Again, I really don't need the money. Right, here we are. It's like, because the fast travel guy's right there, but like, by the time you get here, it's just as easy to get on the horse. Which path do I need? Not this path. It's coming out of Florence. I always get the wrong path. Oh, okay, we'll just jump in the stream, I guess. Monteriggioni this way. Right. Yes, I would like to go to the villa. Oh, Cape not effective in this area, that's fine. I probably don't actually ever really need to go back to Florence. I guess that's why you get the cape, because it's like, well, you're done with this whole area now. Okay, so... first things first, can I get a blacksmith upgrade? Ow. Hi there. Okay, we'll get a repair. Sure. Weapons. Ooh, a scimitar gives me +1 damage and deflect. I'll have that then, please. I kind of wish that the hammers I had were better right now. Because all my best weapons that I can get have always been swords. And I'm like, I like bopping people on the head. It felt silly. Oh, I can get better daggers if I really want one. +2, +4, +1. I can just get a hat. I can just punch people with a metal hat. Sure, I'll get a Sultan's knife. Marvelous. Ammunition, I'm full up on, thanks to looting those guys. Oh, Grieve. Right, what have we got? Okay, metal van braces. For sure. Helmschmied Spulders, sorry. I don't know what Helmschmieding is. I only have a vague idea of what a spulder is based on the picture. But sure, I guess we'll start to get some Helmschmied stuff. And those are worse than my current ones, and Helmschmied Greaves. Amazing, and we still have so much money, oh my god. I think that's everything, right? Yeah.
You'll be well satisfied, I know it.
Thank you. Ooh, shiny, shiny stuff. Oh, and that gives value as well. I guess spending money just in general gives value. Hi, what do you got for me? Knife belt upgrade, yes please. And you can also dye my clothes if I really want you to. I don't know. Tuscan Emerald seems nice. Tuscan Ember I'm not that fussed by. I suppose it's not expensive, we can give it a go.
Well, thank you. Till next time, sir.
What do we think? I don't hate it. Oh, I'm not a huge fan of the scimitar swinging my belt, to be honest. But, needs must. Right. Can I have some more throwing knives, please? It says, equipment you buy goes on display in Monteriggioni. Oh, I suppose, yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? What else can I get? Oh, that's the art guy. He sells, like, art as well as treasure maps. Like, treasure maps, fine, sure. Art. Oh, they're cheap as well, some of them. Sure, I guess. I'll just buy all of your art. So, Francis in ecstasy. He probably shouldn't have been dabbling in that. Ideal city. Batista and Federico. Sure, I'll have all of your finest paintings because I can afford them.
Grazie, and come again.
Sure. I don't know if I need to go and put them up manually or not. We'll have to go see. Off we go. Did I forget I have an art gallery? So that's where I'm going. Right, money. Go. Now, I didn't actually check to see if we got back more money than we spent. This is the codex thing. I don't think we've got any codex pages recently. Is there anything that looks out of place? No, I don't think so. Okay, Boomer says the staff will put them up. That's fair. I can't actually remember where it is either, so it's a good job that the staff will put them up. And here's my armor room. Oh, yeah, look. Here's, I guess, my starting gear. Oh my god, immediately more money in the chest. The loft, okay. Here's my weapon rack. Room. We got some swords. Somewhere we should have a hammer. There's my hammer. There's the hammer. I can't remember what game it is. One of the games I've seen. It might be Diablo 3, which I've actually played, not just seen. But it has like a... It has the option for you to cosmetic morph things. I think they call it like transmogrify or something. So that you can have a weapon that looks like the cool weapon you've got. This way's the loft, right? You can have a weapon that looks like the cool weapon you want, without having to sacrifice on the stats of the objectively better but less cool weapon. Oh, here we go, portraits. Oh! These are portraits of people I've killed. Well, these are good portraits to have. They're not the portraits I was expecting to find. Alright, art gallery. Maybe on the other side of the house? No, that's my mum's room. Maybe over here? Oh yes, look, I recognise this one. This is Ideal City, which we just bought. Hello. Our uncle's just set up the picture frames ready. I know it's just like a game mechanic thing, but it's so funny to me. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm sure my nephew will just bring back all of these specific paintings that I want. Oh, can you consider the Venetian artist's masterpiece? He was later beheaded by, in Aquilea by the Emperor Diocletian. Whatever his name is. He had his head chopped off. Right, I guess I'm gonna go pick up that other 10 grand from the chest, seeing as it literally just spawned in while we were here. Sorry, 11 grand from the chest, my mistake. I wonder how much a florin is, like, in currency, like in sensible currency terms. What is the conversion rate from 15th century florins to modern Great British pounds? Okay. Hey, Hossie. Oh, I don't know how I just mounted that horse, but it was certainly away. Oh. Do I have to go via Florence to get to Venice? Oh. That's weird and slightly disappointing. Yeah, I guess I do. Okay. Well, it turns out this wasn't on our way after all. Who knew? Not me, I don't know anything about Italian geography. It says you guess it's equivalent to a farthing. Unfortunately, I'm not old enough to know how much a farthing is worth in sensible terms, because... Oh, hello. Where am I going from here? I have to go over here. Okay, fine. Because like back when farthings were a thing, pounds used to be worth a lot more as well. So even though it's, you know, X fraction of a pound, I don't know how much an ye olde pound was worth compared to a ye modern pound. To the mountains, I guess? I was sort of hoping to go to Venice, to be honest, but I guess I can go to the mountains. Cape's not effective in this area. Well, that's fine. Okay, so... what have we got? The Apennine Mountains. Ooh. Oh, hello! We've got a map of Italy now! Maybe we always had that and I just didn't know. So Venice is up here, right? I think? Maybe? Possibly? I'm trying to remember from Crusader Kings. Well, I guess we've got a memory for going through the mountains, so... Hello?
Leonardo! Ezio? What luck!
Hello!
I've run into a bit of trouble.
Let me see if I can help.
I know how to fix it, but lack the means to do so. If you could just lift the wagon.
Uh-huh. I am super strong!
What is this thing?
Eh?
Oh, it's a flying
looks like
machine.
a giant bat. Oh, nothing. Just an idea I've been working on. I could not leave it behind.
What is it for?
Well, I shouldn't really talk about it. Al diavolo, I can't hold it in anymore. Ezio, I think I figured out how to make a man fly.
So excited. He's so
Come
adorable.
on, I'll drive. But I haven't even told you where I'm going.
Oh, that's so exciting though. But I haven't even told you where I'm going. Romagna holiday!
Venezia,
Oh.
such a beautiful city. So many sources of inspiration. Ponte di Rialto, Piazza San Marco, l'Arsenale. What's wrong?
We're not alone.
Uh-oh. Hi, GG's!
What's happening? Who are they?
Oh, this is a
Rodrigo
chase
Borgia's
scene.
men.
Why? What do they want with us?
Oh!
I think they want us dead.
Leonardo, hi.
Yep, get in there. Survive the Borgia attack.
They're trying to climb on board. Knock them off.
How? I suppose I'm probably not supposed to hit those.
Someone's on top. Sharp turns to make the carriage roll. Watch out.
Smash hanging enemies into objects. Okay, but not me into objects. Uh-oh, ow. Woo! Okay, if you turn too hard, the carriage tips over. You're supposed to drive like you stole it. Hang on, what did the beam says? You reiterate economics is 3 opinions in a lab coat not worth filling your head with. I think the idea of having an objective study of how economies work is a very sensible thing. I just wish that it was more objective. Okay. Oh, I didn't manage to knock him off? Okay, it's fine, he fell off. Whoopsies! Slow down there, horsies. Okay, we're doing alright. We're doing alright. We got another guy. Oh, ow. I sort of meant for you to hit that, not me. Uh-oh. Ow. Oh, this isn't working at all. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ow, I'm gonna hit that as well. Uh-oh. Oh, they've set the bridge on fire! Uh-oh.
Hold on tight. This is going to be a little rough.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't seem to have like a go faster or slower button, so... Uh-oh. Yeehaw! Oh, that guy's horsey died! That's not right! Uh-oh. Oh, fire. Oh, fire. Oh, many fires. At least they're not shooting at me. I assume that... Oh, that's gonna hit me. Ow. I assume that will change. Oh my god, how many guys does this guy have? Uh-oh. It is impossible. Uh-oh. Ow. To brush these guys off. I think I've done it once. Whoops. Oh, he's not fallen! He's not fallen! Okay, I knocked that guy off. Uh-oh, fire. I can't see the fire because my cart's in the way. Ah! Oh, God! Oh, God! Ah! Thanks, I think. I'm mostly sort of avoiding the fire through kind of cheaty means by going like between it and the side of the map. Right, I got both of them there, that's pretty good. Okay, we're alive. Hey!
Oh, Leonardo, they are here for me, not you. I'll catch up with you later.
Okie doke. Hi! Hold off the Borgia's guards. Oh, you're a big guy.
Get him! Order strike! Wait for a slip!
Ow. Right, this is fine. Ow, that's not fine. I just took a screenshot instead of hitting. That's fine. Ow. Okay, I've put 1 point of damage on this guy. Oh god. I've changed target. Oh, that's not good. Ow. No, this guy. Hit him. Hit him. Ow. Oh, we're right at the edge of the map. How do I can't remember how you... I can't remember how you do the quick leave. There, it's like that. Hang on. Do-do-do. Ow. That didn't actually help me very much. Right, okay, big guy's dead. This should be much easier now. We can just kind of chill, counter, and slowly dispatch. Well, on this last guy. Oh! Right. Okay. We did it. We only lost 3 health. That's not so bad. Now where do I go? I need to walk like 10 meters this way. Sheska says, how much does it take to armor that big guy? Quite a lot, I'm guessing. Oh, I'll have this guy. Thank you. Hi. You're not my usual horsey, but you're gonna be my horsey for today. Wait, can I do this while I'm on the horseback? Yes. Romania holiday. Oh yeah. I do kind of like a wagon meeting sometimes. I've got unlocked contracts in here? In the mountains? Also, the camera is having a real upset. Oh, I see why the camera's having an upset. It's because I was melting Italy. Seekers can render blending useless by doing something, but I didn't see what. Which is very unhelpful. Okay, now we're in Forley, where there's a tomb. And a memory. And a viewpoint. Well, let's get the viewpoint first. I'm not notorious, so I don't think I'm likely to get bothered by any guards. Clippity-clop. I don't know how I'm feeling about the costume. I like the green. I'm kind of... I'm not so hot on the gold. You think it's very striking? Well, it would work on you then, wouldn't it? Score, you can... Oh, hello. Excuse me. Yeah. Sure. What that? That thing. Okay. Can't believe it's just me and Leo, us, the boys, going on a road trip together. What? We found a city. I don't know what the city is, but we found it. It's full of viewpoints, so I guess this is a main location. Shaska says, what does that mean? What's it supposed to do? In Florence, my cape is a Medici cape. So in Florence and I think Tuscany, it said. I now don't. I don't generate notoriety anymore. Clock. I guess. Thank you, horsey. I guess we go in this way. Oh, look, there's a guy.
Must run faster! Stay back! I'm only a courier boy. Mercy. You can have it. Please spare me. Take what you want. I don't want to die. You can have the pouch.
Thanks. Oh, normally you can get like bonus money from them if you punch them after you've taken the money away. But I guess not. Alright, well, I've made myself known in Forley. Access database. Founded in 798,000 BC? Wow! By Paleolithic cavemen who are interested in flint. Forley's been an industrial centre ever since. Comes from Forum Livii, who built the city in 188 BC along the Via Aemilia, one of the several roads they laid after pacifying the Gauls. After in rule, it went from Lombards to church hands, then became an independent republic in 889, which infuriated the Vatican, who spent 400 years trying to get it back. Shaz says, did you just run up to a guy, steal his money, and beat him to a pulp? Yes. I think those guys are supposed to be pickpockets? I'm really not sure. Sometimes they're marked on the map as pickpockets. And sometimes when you punch them after you steal the money, it says, congratulations, you got your money back as well as the thief's money. So I think they're thieves that we're beating up. But I'm not 100% certain. Because they don't always show up on the map as pickpockets. What's going on? On top of Rome's constant manipulations, Forley had to deal with a steady stream of Goth, Byzantine, Lombard, and Frank marauders for the next few centuries, along with annual flooding, which was finally brought under control by diverting nearby rivers away from the city centre in 1050. Like most independent republics, became a military dictatorship at the end of the 13th century, was then passed the Ordelaffi family, who, despite having a lion with its tongue playfully sticking out as a crest, were not all that cute or nice. No kidding. Military dictatorship. Boone says, no, those are Templar couriers. Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, I should have stabbed him then, shouldn't I? I might still be able to, actually. He might still be there. In 1480, with the Ordelaffi fighting amongst themselves over the chain of succession, the Pope stepped in and gave the city to his nephew. Classic Pope move. Things didn't really go as planned for the Pope when Girolamo was killed in 1480. Oh, it's now 1480. Am I gonna kill the Pope's nephew? I think I am, aren't I? The city passed with his wife, Caterina Sforza, the Amazon of Forli, who fought tooth and nail to prevent the Vatican from taking control. Okay. Right. Oh, I kind of meant to get both of you, to be honest. Okay, we've still got both of you. Your friend, he run away already. Ow. Oh. Can I not grab you? Right. Go then. Cool, give me a page. Boom says she's a vibe, you'll like her. Oh, we're gonna get to meet her? Oh, that's exciting. That's almost as exciting as having this little bit of paper. Nothing but his own grotesque amusement. I literally am just playing this game and killing people in the game for fun, which is, I guess, not... He's not wrong! Wow. And also because people are watching me do it. This is just an old vibes tale. Oh, hello. I think it's nice to have the different colors to like make me feel more distinct from Altair. But I don't know. Because the first Ezio Auditore content I ever watched was a playthrough of Revelations. I kind of miss Ezio's like old man dark grey clothes. Like the white is it sometimes feels almost too Altair. But the I don't know about the green either. It looks like there's one outside the city, which is super annoying. Because that looks a lot closer to where I came in than the one I ended up getting, which was there. What gives, game? There's loads. Oh, but I guess this is just another small city. Like Thingy Bob. Like San Gimigono. It's not called that, I can't remember what it's called. How long have we got left? We've got 40 minutes. That's probably long enough to do a 2. It says you're technically not in charge. You're not technically in charge. You don't get to decide the uniform. Ooh, Rocca di Ravaldino. I guess that's this thing. Built with a square plan imposing corner towers, this fortress was constructed in 1471. Oh, it's really new. By Giorgio Marchesi Fiorentino, at the request of Pino III, Lord of Forli. Then enlarged with a citadel by Girolamo Riario, the new lord. Citadel later became the refuge for Caterina Sforza from attack by Cesare Borgia, Rodrigo Borgia's bloodthirsty son in 1500. It was then used as a prison. Doesn't seem like a fun place to hang out. Thanks! Okay. This is a huge place to find a thing in. Oh, it's not that huge. It's... I sort of assumed it would be, like, fully round, but it's actually not. Hi, guys. You look like you're protecting something. You are protecting something. Excuse me a sec. Ow!
I've buried more men than I can count.
Jesus.
Just like yours.
Well, you won't be burying any more. Okay. Let's get up somewhere a little high and have a look around with the old eagerly vision. See if we can spot anything glitchy looking. That's a no. On the outside? No. I wonder if it is possible for it to be in the tomb. Because there is a tomb here. Oh, there it is. Hang on. Wait, where was that? Over there? Is that a feather? That's a feather. Okay, never mind. Oh, Ezio. Careful now. That's the way into the tomb. These things are always very difficult to find. Well, there was one I was going to look up where it was, and I can't remember what that one was. It's probably a long way back now. That thing glowing over there. It's a well. I don't know why it's glowing. Maybe it's a hiding place. The other thing is I don't sort of know what counts as this building exactly. Oh, there's another chest over here. Oh, I didn't really want to do that. Let's see it. This way, please. Thank you. Not here. Uh-oh, I didn't really want to do that. Ow! I didn't want to do that at all. These glyphs are well tricksy. Very tricksy for me, I think, sometimes. Be on the bridge? There's some money to be found. Hi. Oh yeah, look, see that's a pickpocket guy. That guy who just yelled "Bastardo, I won't go back in a cell." He's a pickpocket. Oh! Oh no, that's just the loot. Never mind. Never mind. I got excited. It's not that. There is an entrance to that place by water, which is potentially going to be useful, as I assume we will be breaking in here at some point. Where? Hell. Okay, let's go for a swim. See if it's around here. Oh no, this is the tomb entrance. Okay, I might grab this, and then we'll go for the tomb. Because I guess it's possible it could be in the tomb. Ezio, you're being particularly useless there. Actually, I should heal before I go into the tomb. In case I fall off of something. Hi, I'd like to heal, please. Thank you.
You should feel better now. Take care.
I assume it can't be in the tomb, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to find it again. swimming? Ah, I'm not here for swimming. I'll get my nice new cape wet. Infiltrate Rocca de Revaldino, find the assassin seal. Sure. Warning, restricted area. They always are. They get to the greenhouse. I remembered how to do the backwards jump. This is nice. Like, okay. Oh, I see. It's a timed mechanism. I have no idea what it's powered by. It means there's no way back. I also have no idea how it really works. Oh, there's a thing up here though. Maybe not. Maybe that's just decoration. Or maybe it isn't just decoration and I am supposed to go up here. Hello. Oh yeah. Finding all the secrets. Being super nosy. Now where? Can I go up this? No. Oh, I'm in the water now. Interesting. Oh, I'm so shiny when I get out of the water though, look! Ooh, I like that. Okay, where from here? What's this for? This gets me up to here. Am I the only one being a bit daft? And not seeing where I'm supposed to be going? Oh, I can dive! I probably have to dive into the water, don't I? Right. Yeah, there we go. Swim under obstacles. Hang on a sec. Right. Let's check there's something else to swim under. No, okay, we're good. Ah, we solved it in the end. I'm so used to looking for jumping puzzles, I didn't think it would be a swimming puzzle. That's like the opposite of a jumping puzzle. I'm so shiny. Checkpoint. Yoink. It's like wall jumping, very, very slow. And it only works because there's these convenient beams. If any one of which was not here, I would not be able to do this. Oh, hello! Oh, I sort of thought I would be able to stab him. But I got hijacked by a cutscene instead. Okay, there's lots of guards. Where have we got them? I can't see them. Which is sometimes good, because sometimes being unable to see them means they can't see me. But not always. Let's stand behind this. I don't think there's guards down there. I think I have to jump across here. Oh, hello. There's a flipple flapple. Uh-oh. Who the hell was that? There's a guy there who sees through the grate. Isn't tremendously helpful. What's your path? Okay. Well, we have technically maintained stealth just about. So far. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay.
Messere, do I know you? Messere!
Still stealth. We're still stealth. Okay, I couldn't have gone up here to get him anyway.
Who saw what happened?
Uh-oh.
Somebody saw something! Come forward!
Where are you?
Eccolo!
Okay, got him as well. Where's your buddy? Over there. Up.
Hey, that could be. He looks familiar.
Hello.
I've seen him before.
Okay, got you. It was a little sloppy, but we did. Okay, now where? Oh, not this one. The other side. Hang on. Okay. Gate there. Shield. Oh, okay. I don't exactly understand, but I'm sure it will become apparent. Ezio! Oh, you numpty nana! Ugh. I got stuck swinging on the thing. Okay, try again. There we go. Alright. Through here? I think so. I don't think I can make that jump. Can I go up here? There we go. Okay. And then drop down onto this. Fuck. And through. Right, that gate's shut. Oh, hello. There's a guy there. Oh, there's an armored guy there we really don't want to tangle with. So I have to go up a bit. Nope, down more than that. Okay, I guess we have to hope he can't see through the railings. Doesn't look like he can. Hello? Uh-oh. Okay, we just about got away with that. Bonk. I saw someone moving over there, but I didn't see what they were doing. Or where they went. Okay, there's a guy. What's your path? You walk over there, you look this way. Oh, he does that. I'm guessing he's probably not supposed to do that. I'm guessing that's a bug. But he does do it. And then you walk back over there. How long do you stay over there for? A moderate amount of time, because you look both ways. Oh, no, down, let's here, please. Oh, can you really not go around the corner? That's inconsiderate of you. There we go, now we can go around the corner. There we go! Okay, I've just gotta wait for him to come back. Give him a bit of a stibbity stab. He doesn't come close enough on that pass. Now he's going to come back. Well, ideally, stab him before he jumps. Oh, okay, or not then. Ow! Oh, I hate it when they do that.
I can't see him anymore. There he is. On him.
Well, that was rude. We nearly did that stealthily. Alright, and then down there, somewhere, I don't know on which side, but there's a big metal guy. Where are you, big metal guy? Oh, that's not big metal guy. There is another guard. There's one right underneath me. That's a regular guy, that's not big metal guy. That's another guard. This big metal guy down there. That's big metal guy. Okay, and he can see through into that area. This might be a job for throwing knives. Oh, for God's sake, Altair, Ezio, you couldn't really... You really couldn't have knocked him off that? Jeebus, I need better throwing knife damage. Oh, Ezio. So ideally, you need this guy to come walk under me, but I don't know if he's going to. Which is unfortunate. Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, he's seen me. That's okay. We can knock him off of here.
I can't see him anymore.
Ah! I thought you couldn't see me anymore!
Like a little girl while you play.
I thought you said you couldn't see me anymore. You can't see me anymore.
Another one.
What a numpty! What a numpty! Okay. Ow, that hurt a little bit. Those fights. We didn't get full stealth. But there's technically no, I think, game benefit at this point to getting full stealth. Thank you for that, Cheska. Can I? Okay, I can't use those ropes to climb up, apparently. Maybe I need this. I'm going to jump across. Can't actually really remember where I'm going. No, apparently not. Boo said. Oh no. Where am I going from here? Does anyone know? Oh, I think I'm going up there. Okay. Fine. Nope, not there, please. This one. Onto here. Then to here. And then to there. Okay. And then across. Wonderful. Actually, honestly, I probably could have done that without... Oh no, I did have to go down, actually, didn't I, to get inside that cage, but never mind. Where am I going? This is my objective. It is marked on the map. I guess up somewhere? Ah, that looks like a place to go. Find the burial chamber. There's a thing here. It's not highlighted though, which is interesting. What's it doing? Is it just timing? Okay. Okay, yes, it times, right. So I have to get through there, up there, along here. And where from here? Over here? No, not there. So I do want to plan out my route before I do it. So that I know where I'm going, so I don't panic. Oh, up here? This doesn't seem like it's leading me there. Nope. Oh, that's gonna... Oh, that didn't hurt. Okay. Where am I going? Where am I going? I'm lost. There doesn't seem to be anything to grab on that bit. I can't run up there to anything. I guess to here? Then where? I can't get up there. Do I have to jump across? Ow. No, I do not jump across. Oh gosh, yeah, that was me ripping on the dad in Roki. Did I say that? Oh my god, I can't believe I said that one as well. Where the hell am I going? Am I supposed to be grabbing that thing? No. Ow. I'm gonna lose all of my health experimenting because I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going. Wait, I can't climb the vines, can I? No, okay. Does something change on this side? When I pull the lever? No. Oh, I'm supposed to go up here. Ah, yeah. The camera, it does its like clever camera thing, but it doesn't do it unless you've activated the thing. Am I really supposed to swing that? Are you sure? Oh, cool. That I gotta go back now. Hopefully without dying. Ow. So what's this area for? Huh? What's the point in this place? It looks very climbable. I guess there's nothing at the top. There's just a light at the top. Okay, sure, fine. Oh, the camera did not help there at all. Oh, Ezio, please. Okay, I don't think we've made it this time. Oh, Ezio. Oh, fingies! Oh, fingies! Oh, we were very close though. Even with mucking about, we were very close. Oh, what a quote. Oh dear. Wait for the silly camera to settle in. Oh, okay, silly camera's decided to be very silly. Up, up, Ezio! Don't clamber about the side, you Dummkopf! Oh. No, Ezio, you just made the same mistake again. Oh, we did it! Okay, amazing. Jeebus. Oh. Open the sarcophagus, but there's a lever here. Oh, it just permanently opens the door. I see. Does that mean I have to go back out the same way? Right. Steal the loot. Steal all the loot. There's one more chest left somewhere. According to this. Oh, maybe it's just this. Yoink! Like that guy's eyes in. Oh, that one got mummified. Huh, and of course, there's a trapdoor which I could have just come in by anyway. Oh, that was the seal of Qui-Gon Jinn, or something. I didn't actually get a chance to read it, but I saw a Q and a G. Oh, amazing. Wonderful. We did a tomb! Go us! Throw an enemy to break all object together. I used to love doing that in Assassin's Creed 1. I never remember to do it anymore. Why the hell did that bring me out? Oh, okay. Just in a manhole cover. Bonk. There we go. Ah, wonderful. Go us. Who the hell are you? Are you okay? Are you okay, sir? You're very snotty. I'll have some of that, please. Alright. What are we doing? We've got, what, 12 minutes left? Definitely not enough to do main mission stuff. Might be enough to run around doing some view towers, so I guess we'll go do that for a little bit. Get some unlocks. Those are the guys going to the codex one. Oh wow, it's amazing how quiet he goes as soon as you're beyond the city walls. There's my horsey. Hello, horsey! I'm sorry I rode another horse for a while. I promised you our best, horsey.
Hey! Oh, hell.
Oh, hell. Oh, well, I had fun today. I hope everyone in chat had fun today. I know we are just sort of doing little like maintenance stuffs at the end of the stream right now, but don't go anywhere because we are going to do a little end of stream raid in like 10 minutes time. I'm being way too premature with that, but it's fine. Oh, hey buddy. Yeah, let's see Forley. I don't know anything about Forley. I didn't even know it existed. So I guess I'll have to sort of go and look up some stuff off stream and find out things about Forley. Right, where are we going next? That one, I guess. Yeehaw. Let's see, I was cowboying before cowboys had even been invented. Oh, hello. Is that a chest? Loot! Give me loot. Lots of loot. Just says you think they're invented, they were just called cow herders. True. Very true. Hey buddy. Whoa, careful Ezio. I like how I can... If I'm stood here, I can't synchronize. If I'm peering over the edge like this, I can synchronize. Good job, game. Fantastic job. Oh, shall we try that one again? Whee! Plop. Alright, where are we going next? I guess this one, probably. How big is Forley? It looks... I didn't ask you to. Hello.
Son of... What do you think you're doing?
I can't die! I'm beautiful!
Anyway, okay, we'll stop bothering the civilians. The nerve. She got on my nerves because she's like, I can't die, I'm beautiful. That is not a good reason to not die. There are many good reasons to not die. That's not one of them. Bonk. I like how they always assume when you knock them over when you're on the horse that it's like some deeply personal thing. Like, I promise you it's not. You were just in the way. Oh, that was good. I wasn't even on the horse when it knocked all the people over that time. Ezio? Thank you. What the hell is the way up here? Might not be on this side at all. Okay. There's a feather there. Ah, hello. This looks a bit more way uppy.
Hey, spare a thought for others
Oh.
you might injure.
Hang on. Loot! I hear the jingling of loot.
Hey, spare a thought for others you might injure.
How am I gonna injure someone by climbing up your church? Thank you. Some feathers to assist our mother in her quest for feathers. Boop. I love that. I love it's a very wet part of Italy. Whee! Now that water isn't an instant death evil nemesis. Oh my god, look at all this stuff! Look at all this stuff for us to do next time. Oh, there's even a pigeon loft for us. Although interestingly, there doesn't seem to be a pigeon loft in. Oh no, there is a pigeon loft in. I think it's just right next to this viewpoint, which we can see all around this viewpoint anyway. So the viewpoint seems kind of superfluous, but whatever. Where's my horsey? Hello, have you finished bothering monks? The answer is no. Apparently it has not finished bothering monks. Uh-oh, don't jump off the bridge, horse! Oh, what the hell's that? Oh, that's the race. Oh my god. These guys are doing the worst job of guarding this chest, can I just say. Well done, guys. Well done. Like, normally I can get into the places without actually going through the guards, because I can, like, climb and stuff. But I didn't need to. Oh, hello, another chest. Give me loot. Lots of loot. I'm distracted very easily by anything that glows. Even stuff we categorically do not need. God, there is a lot of it, though. This one's a gold one. I wonder if the gold chests are different. I wonder if they hold more. I haven't been, like, keeping track. Clamber, clamber, clamber. Up we go. Do a sync. Ezio here over here? Wait, who's calling my name? Whoever? Wait, what? Oh, I guess that'll be the main mission, won't it? That'll be Leo. No, there's no way I can hear Leo from over here. What the hell? Who is calling my name? I think it is him. He's over there. He can see me climbing the tower. That's wonderful. Okie doke. Where are we going next? 4 minutes. I guess we'll grab this last view tower, like around the periphery, and then that's where we'll call it there. We can do the city view power. Must have some lungs to shout that loud. Good point. Hi guys! Getting onto that boat did not go quite how I wanted it to. I also like how I'm looking around shiftily to see if anyone is watching what I'm doing. I'm literally like 2 feet away from a fisherman. Oh my god. Oh god! He went in and he didn't come out again. Oh my god, how deep is it here? I only wanted his money! What have I done? Well... What? Oh, what's the wrong button? What good does rearing do? Does it help at all? Alright, we're going to pretend that never happened. And I'm sure I will have forgotten by the next stream. Ooh, careful, horsey, careful. Ow. Okay. Horse is dead. It's just one, probably? Yeah, I imagine so. Ooh, guards. Very shiny guards. Oh, this... I see the flooding problem they were talking about. I actually had no idea if my horse would be able to go through that water, if it would be, like, incredibly deep. So, I'm glad that it could. Feather! Where's the way up? Just do a little scoot all the way around. I don't think it's that. Is it this? Yes, apparently it is. Okay. There we go. That. He's still calling out to us! My guy! I'm very far away! Although I can hear you, you should not be expecting me to hear you. Excuse me, bird. Just casually steps on an eagle, as one does. Alright, that's where we're going to leave it for today. For Assassin's Creed 2. Thank you so much for joining me. That was fun. I had a good day today. Did a lot of things. Got another seal. Did some upkeep. We're fabulously stinking rich. Boom says Leonardo can detect a sexy Italian man at 1,000 paces. Oh, what a superpower to have, huh? Oh dear. But yes, don't go anywhere because I'm going to send you all off on a wee little raid. Let me just see who is live and also how many of you keen little eager bunnies I have with me to send off. Oh, goodness gracious me. Oh, my Twitch is being very slow to load. It's because I've got games and chats and stuff open all at the same time. It's my fault. Okie dokie, who is live? Scarlet Zoe is live doing her subathon on day 3, which is a very strong potential for somewhere we could go over. Yes, let's go and say hi to Zoe. There we go, raid's open. Yeah, so you all know the drill. You're all wonderful beans. You all know Zoe. Zoe's a wonderful bean too. You're a match made in heaven. Fantastic. I will be back tomorrow at midday. I think the plan is to do another game demo stream. I was like, oh, I've only got like 2 streams worth of game demos left, and then it turned out I actually had way more demos than that. So we have demos kind of coming out of our ears at the moment. If it's not game demos, it'll be some more Rings of Saturn. Depends how I'm sort of feeling, really. And then Wednesday will be Colosseum. Thursday evening will be a stream where I'm going to be, I think, probably starting Paleo Pines because I really loved that game. Like, so much. So look forward to all of those in the future. If you want to have any updates on the streams as they happen, you can follow my Twitter at @thisfordemise or my Mastodon at eldritch.cafe/@thisfordemise, where I send out notifications every time I go live. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is down in the description, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find me at twitch.tv/thisfordemise to watch these happen. I'm going to bid you adieu. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. My name has been Dizzy, and I'll see you all next time. Ta everyone! Bye!